really interesting, actually. I did a contrasting good and bad role play demos for something I was doing recently, and I was the client in both cases. And despite the fact that it was a role play, it was very interesting to notice my feelings coming up. So I think one of the, and I noticed that. So in the bad role play, the person who was pretending to be the planner, there was something that assumed, well, I assume you're pretty risk averse, aren't you? And I kind of sat there and I was like, yeah, okay. But it was really interesting because I had no reason to be that compliant, but I felt it in myself. Yeah. And so I think another massive part of the work that both you and I do is giving people that opportunity to practice in both seats and feel what it feels like to be a bit vulnerable, to need to open up about your hopes, your dreams, your fears, all of those things around money that we're asking clients to do. They're asking clients to do very often. Most planners don't have their own financial planner, which blows my mind, actually, but that's a whole other conversation. But to actually sit in that client's seat and feel those things, I think is an incredibly valuable part of the work.
Yes, and I think there's two things that come up for me there. And let's see if I can hold on to the second one while I say the first one, is that yes, and do we give opportunity to a client to say, actually, I don't want to answer that right now. Don't know you well enough. Can we come back to that? And that helps me remind me of my second point, which is that I believe we need to be explicit about those conversations. We're going to, in my role as financial planner, I'm going to ask you some questions because I want to get to know you and I want you to feel known. And I think those are two really important separate points. But aside from that, and sometimes I might ask you things that you don't know the answer to, or you just don't want to talk about today or ever, and that is absolutely fine. We are both in charge of how this works. I'm not in the driving seat. Together, we're going to work out what the best financial plan is for you, and you're in charge as much as I am of what that conversation involves. To be much more explicit about that, and then that gives, I hate the word permission, do I? Sometimes I hate it, but it gives permission to not be obedient. It invites them to share expertise and to be more equal, and it dismantles that power hierarchy that can happen otherwise.